My mother was a little worried about me and snakes. By that time, she realized that India is full of some fairly dangerous, very dangerous snakes. And, she trusted me to the degree that I wasn't going to mess around. I promised her that I wouldn't touch a venomous snake, which was a lie, of course. But Kodaikanal has very few snakes at that elevation. And the ones that were there that I found regularly are called shield-tailed snakes. They're burrowers, non-venomous, of course. Very beautiful. They have wonderful. Most of the color is on the underside, but the top side has a beautiful iridescent sheen. So you hold it in the sun, and it's really quite a beautiful thing. The other snake that is very common up there are these vine snakes, the ones with the long tapering noses, green vine snakes. And so I caught those and the shield-tailed snakes quite regularly. Probably one of the most exciting times I have ever had there, though, was finding a pit viper, a green pit viper. And I realized that it does look quite a bit like the vine snake, but with that broad head, triangular-shaped head, it was just, there's no mistaking that that's a venomous snake. And interestingly, probably by that time I was 10 or 12 years old, a little bit older and a little bit more savvy about, I got a coat hanger and I used it to make a snake hook to lift the snake and that kind of thing. And on one trip to a place called Berejam Lake, which was a regular feature for us to go there to either camp or just go for a day trip and go swimming in this cold water of Berejam Lake. It was a beautiful wild place with, you could see gaur and other, occasional sambar and stuff like that there. But a friend of mine called Bill Brannan was a real nut about butterflies. He collected butterflies very seriously with a butterfly net and taught us how to catch them and how to kill them gently and preserve them in envelopes and stuff like that. So he was a very young guy like us, but very serious about his collection of butterflies. So I was with him walking beside the lake, and I saw this snake swimming very slowly through the grass right next to the edge of the lake. And it was a startling snake with big round blotches all the way down its back. And I immediately identified it as a Russell's viper. And I had no idea that there are Russell's vipers so high up in the hills there. And luckily, I wanted to catch it, of course, and I just grabbed Bill's butterfly net and scooped it up. But now what, of course? And we got him in the net. Okay. Well, again, the gods sort of shine on stupid people, and I was lucky that the snake was very slow and not very defensive because of the very cold water that he was swimming in. And I had a lunchbox, which I'd emptied out, and we somehow managed to get the snake from the butterfly net. I still don't remember exactly how we did something so dangerous. Got it into the lunchbox and closed it up. Okay, now what? Well, I didn't tell anybody about it, and we got back to school, and then I told the biology teacher, who already knew my interest in snakes, and he said, well, it's venomous, right? And, probably they would say poisonous in those days. Nowadays, you have to say venomous because, okay. But I said, yeah, it's very venomous. And, but can we keep it? Can we put it in an aquarium, or at least so that everyone can see it? And again, I lucked out because he was okay with the idea of putting it into one of the glass cases in the biology lab. And we did manage to keep it for several days, and lots of kids got a chance to see what a Russell's viper looks like. And I just happened to be wearing a Russell's viper t-shirt. And it's kind of funny that we're advertising a snake, which is possibly the most dangerous snake in the world. And the fact that this was my first really dangerous snake that I ever caught. I think I was 12 years old then. And it is the snake which probably causes the most deaths of any other snake in India. And India has the highest death rate by snake bite in the world. So it was, a very interesting fact that this was my first venomous snake.